Okay, I'd like to call to order this regular council meeting. First item is disclosures of pecuniary interest, and I'll ask any members if they have any pecuniary interest they'd like to declare. Councillor Smith.
Yes, thank you. And through you, I would like to declare pecuniary interest related to agenda item 9.1. The leasee is an immediate family member.
Thank you. Noted. There are no additions, deletions, or amendments. There is no public meeting. So that moves us on to item 5, adoption of minutes. And I have a motion moved by the Vice Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Smith, that Council adopt the minutes of the Council meeting of March 11, 2019 as presented. Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favour? That is carried. All right, and that moves us on to a motion moved by Councillor Schreider, seconded by the Deputy Mayor, that Council note and file the minutes of the Committee of the Whole meeting of March 11, 2019 as presented. Questions or comments to that set of minutes? Seeing none, all in favour? That's carried. That moves us then past report of Committee of the Whole to report of municipal officers and committees. And the first one is a staff report on Davy Drive reconstruction funds reallocation, and the Director of Infrastructure and Development.
Sure, thank you, and through you, Mr. Mayor. This is a unique situation where when our tenders for a different project came in over budget, we went back to look to see where the money would come from to support the water supply line. And in that, we have also been diligently working through our 10 to 25-year capital plan. So since Christmas, the Manager of Engineering Services has put together an amazing matrix and confirmed that Davy is really needed sort of in 2021. And with that, we still wanted to fix the problems with the water services for the 5 homes. So what we would like to propose is that we use the vac truck, do minimal surface damage, replace those 5, and then use the unspent funds to fund the overall budget on the water supply line. There's more than we need in that budget amount, so then we took to heart the question during budget about if we could find the money to continue down Beach Street and have the entire road completed at this time, and that's what we propose here.
All right, I'll read the resolution, and we can take questions or comments. It's been moved by the Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Schreider, that Council reallocate $605,000 of the total approved amount of $635,000 from the 2019 capital budget for the Davy Drive reconstruction project, with $305,000 to the Southampton water supply line replacement project, and $300,000 to be used to extend the Beach Street reconstruction project to include the block from Lake Street to Front Street. The full scope of the Davy Drive reconstruction project between Burker Street and Wellington Street to be deferred to the budget year 2021. Questions or comments from members? Councillor Grace.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Amanda, just a couple of questions on timing. Do you have a sense yet when you'd be doing the projects on the water line and beach?
Through you, I'm not sure about Beach, but the water supply line is about a 24-week project, so it will be starting this spring and will continue through the summer. Davy Street we'll schedule it into the operations schedule. Beach Street hasn't been out to tender yet, so it would be later in the year, I'd imagine, probably fall work for Beach Street.
Okay, one more question. So I don't know if when you did the original consultation for residents who lived along Beach Street, was that included in the? Was that included, or is that something that's going to be coming up this spring?
Through you, Mr. We haven't done the consultation yet, so our annual road reconstruction information center will be held in May, and we'll bring that at that time.
And you'll just extend that down for everybody, basically, in Southampton, right?
We would show, yeah, so that notice is put out to everybody on the web and in the paper, but the resident circulation will be the full length of the full reconstruction job.
Thank you.
Further questions or comments from members? Being none, all in favor? That's carried. All right, that moves us on to the second staff report on the Southampton water supply line replacement award. Does the director have any comments?
The only comment I wanted to make to this one through you, Mr. Mayor, is that it is about a 24-week process For this, we have two contractors working together to do it as quickly as possible. They're doing it in a phased approach to try to limit the disturbance at one time. So there's focused pieces that they'll be working on. They have to work through a detour plan, especially for when they're on the highway. And there'll be a lot of public notice on our website with updates to this project as it goes through.
Okay, I'll read the resolution. We can take any questions or comments. It's been moved by Councillor Rich, seconded by Councillor Carr, that Council authorize that Doug Welsh Construction Limited be awarded the contract for the Southampton Water Supply Line Replacement Project in the amount of $2,070,964.25 plus applicable HST, and that the Mayor and Clerk be authorized to sign the necessary tender documents. Questions or comments from members? Being none, all in favor? That's carried. All right, that moves us then on to the third staff report on the Southampton Water Treatment Plant Membrane Replacement and Expansion Award. Comments from the Director? No comments? So I have a resolution moved by Councillor Grace, seconded by Councillor Mayette, that Council authorize that Suez Water Technologies and Solutions be awarded the contract for the replacement and installation of membranes in the Southampton Water Treatment Plant in the amount of $419,300 plus applicable HST, and that the Mayor and Clerk be authorized to sign the necessary tender documents. Questions or comments from members? Being none, all in favor? That's carried. And then the fourth and final report, staff report on the Port Elgin downtown interlocking brick repairs. Comments from the Director?
Through you, and just one questions that came through since the agenda was put out was about the price differences between the contractors, and it is something that we do see even on the water supply line. You'll see the difference of close to $1 million on that one. The unit price for the lowest contractor on here was the same as what the contractor 2 years ago bid, so we were comfortable with that unit price. We checked their references, and that's why we're recommending as we are.
Okay, I'll read the resolution. We can take questions. It's been moved by Councillor Grace, seconded by the Vice Deputy Mayor, that Council authorize that Green Earth Canada Contracting Limited be awarded the contract for the Port Elgin interlocking brick repairs in the amount of $27,536.02 plus applicable HST, and that the Mayor and Clerk be authorized to sign the necessary tender documents. Questions or comments from members? Just remind me, is this the last phase? I asked this during the budget too, and I can never remember the answer.
Next year will be the last year, but it's half the amount of this year, so it's half a block next year.
Okay, thank you. Vice Deputy Mayor?
You too, Amanda, just remind me of a request I had from a resident not long ago, but on the intersection, the interlocking brick on the intersection, you know, it's got inside that interlocking brick sections, there's the maple leaf, the dark imprint of the maple leaf. Used to quote ton of maples years ago, I suppose, when they were put in. And the request came through from a resident, since we're talking about interlocking, to one day refinish those interlocking brick and bring back the dark maple leaf look and recolor them. Has there ever been any chat amongst the staff level, Amanda, to address something like that? I know it's just kind of an off-the-wall request, but it did come forward.
Through you, I have not heard that request before.
It's very expensive to do it, probably, too.
I would imagine you're taking bricks out and putting them back in because they're sun-faded brick.
That's all it is. I mean, they've just got faded over the last 20 plus years, I guess.
35 years, probably.
Is that long? Yeah.
It was done in the 80s.
So I mentioned at some point I would raise it at the council table. It seemed like the opportune time, but I figured we probably hadn't put much thought into that one.
Okay, if there's nothing further, I'll ask the members. All in favor? That's carried. All right, so that moves us then on to bylaws. And tonight I'll read the bylaws separately because we have one member with a pecuniary interest on one. So, we'll use the same mover and seconder for both. So it's been moved by Councillor Mayette, seconded by Councillor Grace, that the following bylaw is hereby read a first, second, and third time and finally passed and sealed this 25th day of March 2019. That will be bylaw 26, 2019, being a bylaw to authorize a lease agreement with Gord's Pro Shop and Imprints. Questions or comments to the bylaw? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. Just bring back Councillor Smith. The second bylaw is moved again by Councillor Mayette, seconded by Councillor Grace, that the following bylaw is hereby read a first, second, and third time and finally passed and sealed this 25th day of March 2019. 2/27/2019, being a bylaw to authorize lease agreements with the Saugeen Shores Chamber of Commerce. Questions or comments to that bylaw? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. All right, and that moves on to item 10, close to public, and I have a motion moved by Councillor Carr, I think, and seconded by the Vice Deputy Mayor, that Council move into a closed to public session in accordance with Bylaw 63/2015 under Section 3.8.2A regarding the security of the property of the municipality or local board regarding the station building. All in favor? As carried. We'll reconvene in the committee room. Okay, I have a motion moved by Councillor Mayette, seconded by Councillor Grace, that Council arise from closed to public session and resume the regular Council meeting, and advise the public that Council gave direction to staff on the matter in closed. Questions or comments? All in favor? That's carried. Then that moves us on to the confirmatory bylaw. It's been moved by Councillor Rich, seconded by Councillor Carr, that bylaw 28/2019, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Town of Saugeen Shores, is hereby read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed and sealed this 25th day of March 2019. All in favor? That's carried. And then I have a motion moved by Councillor Schreider, seconded by the Deputy Mayor, that this regular Council meeting of March 25th, 2019, hereby adjourns at 8:35 p.m. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you all very much, and have a good evening.